Oi friends, Rin here. So we are back again with part 2 of best and worst ciphers in Identity 5. Now for those who do not know what is going on right now, that means you guys did not watch part 1. I will leave a link in the description below, so definitely do check out part 1 first, then come back to this one. So to recap guys, the safe ciphers are the one that are recommended to do because if the hunter does pull up, you guys are prepared to kite. Now the wary ones, you guys are okay to do these ciphers, but you guys should be careful. Now the dangerous one, I highly recommend that you guys rotate to a better cipher. Although it does waste a bit of time, it's still better than getting destroyed in 20 seconds. Now like I said before, rescuers can do these ciphers, but you guys gotta be careful as well because you guys are not excluded from the hunter's vision. They still might try to hit you. Today we are going to go over Sacred Heart Hospital and Leo's Memory, so definitely do enjoy guys. And remember to leave that like, do subscribe if you guys haven't already, and definitely do share with your friends. So the first map that we are going to talk about is Sacred Heart Hospital. Now this is one of the more interesting maps of Identity 5 for the reason that it has a huge dead zone area. So a dead zone area is a bad kiting area, like a really bad kiting area where your resources and pallets are just not your best friend, and they're just not the best at all. Matter of fact, they're not your friend. But anyway, so this is like half of the map in Sacred Heart Hospital. Okay, I'm exaggerating, it's more of a third. So it's from the front gate up until Shaq. Not including Shaq, just up until Shaq. The problem here is that you guys could say that, hey, you guys still could make the best of it and it still could work. But majority of the time, and if you guys play this map a lot, you guys will realize at the end of the day, this place just absolutely sucks for kiting. If you guys are planning to go for a win or planning to kite for more than 60 seconds, do not kite in this area. But anyways, so this brings me to my first cipher. This cipher right here next to Emma. This cipher right here is considered a dangerous cipher for the most obvious reasons. You guys see these 3 pallets right here. You guys may think that, hey, they can be your resource, but I made a video on this. These 3 pallets absolutely suck because look at this, like what is this? The hunter does not need to even hit you through or bait you at all. They can just simply go around and just hit you through them. Same thing for this pallet right here, absolutely terrible. This pallet right here is actually a really good pallet, but the problem here is that if you guys decide to drop the pallet or the hunter decides to break the pallet, you guys are trapped in corner carried and they're gonna get a free hit on you. Now assuming that you guys are not injured already, you guys will be able to transition away, but if you guys are injured, well you guys are in for a big surprise because they're gonna chair you at the worst place in Sacred Heart Hospital outside of basement. So yeah, not the best place in the world, right? So this is considered a dangerous cipher. If you guys do spawn into the match and you guys spawn near this cipher, definitely do take the extra mile, go to a better cipher. And when I say a better cipher, I don't mean go from this cipher all the way to this cipher over here. This cipher right here is considered the most dangerous cipher in this map for the most obvious reasons. Look where you guys are. You guys are literally out of nowhere and legit in a corner. Yes, you guys have this window. You guys could play mind games with the hunter, but how long are you guys planning to last? And do you guys think you guys will last long enough against a really good hunter? Absolutely not. Now, if the hunter does teleport on you, like I said, your best chance is to try to play mind games with them because you guys cannot transition in time once they teleport. You guys will be able to give them that free hit. And that is not a good thing. So if you try to transition over here when they do teleport or transition over there, which I barely can see even the area to start off with, you guys will give them that free hit. So it's just not the best area. Now you guys see them from a visible distance and you guys try to transition away, you guys won't get far in that transition. You guys will probably make it here and you guys will, you know, intersect at this point. And like I said, not best kiting area. You guys are most likely ending up giving them that free hit anyways. Now, if they come from this direction, yeah, I mean, you guys could make your way up all the way over there, but why are you guys taking the risk that you guys do not have to take? This is absolutely a terrible cipher. Spawn in, do not touch this cipher at all in the very beginning of the match. You guys will only have to touch this cipher if you guys really, really have to. But like I said, highly avoid this cipher if you guys can. Rotate to a better cipher. Now, when I say rotate to a better cipher, I do not mean go to this cipher right here. Now this cipher right here is also considered a dangerous cipher. Well, you guys are thinking, well darn Rin, all these 3 ciphers suck. What is the point? The point is, do not be here in the beginning of the match. This is absolutely terrible, okay? I mean, this cipher right here is better than those 2 ciphers, but realistically, if the hunter does pull up, you might potentially give them that free hit because you guys won't be able to transition in time if they do teleport. I mean, you guys could make it over here or try to go over there, which is right here. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. There are 2 pallets right here. They're pretty good for looping actually, but you're still taking a risk that you guys do not need to take. Now, if you guys see them from a visible distance, you guys can transition, but if you guys see them way too late in that visible distance, you guys might give them that free hit. So realistically, don't do these 3 ciphers right here. They're just really bad ciphers in general. And the more times that you guys play this map, you guys will realize that when you guys start doing this cipher, just not the best. Like when the hunter does pull up, you guys will know what I mean, that these 3 ciphers are really bad. But anyways, we are going to transition to the Shaq Cipher right here. Now, the Shaq Cipher right here is considered a safe cipher. Wow, the first safe cipher in the whole entire map. It is safe because if they do teleport, you can vault this window in time. You can make it to this pallet in time. And if they do come, you guys have that preparation. Usually, many survivors go behind this pallet to, you know, scout out who is the hunter and what is their plan next. It's a really good area to loop and stuff like that. It's also good for transitioning. So you guys decide to transition, you vault this, go over here, not too bad. And then you try and make your way into the hospital and stuff like that. This is considered a safe cipher. Absolutely recommended to do and pretty safe to do actually. So keep that in mind. The next cipher we're going to talk about is this cipher right here. Now this cipher right here is considered a safe and a wary cipher because it's safe because you can see the hunter. Usually hunters are from that direction over there, so you guys will be able to spot them before they do arrive, unless it's like Wu Chang or something. They will use their umbrella first, but you guys will have that head start. Now if they do come from this direction, you're more screwed than if they came from this direction. So you better hope they come from this direction, because if they come from this direction, they're gonna push you all the way to Shaq, which is absolutely not a bad thing at all. But preferably, this is just a good kiting area, and you guys do not want to start kiting at Shaq. You guys can kite here in the first place. But the thing here is that if you guys see them from a visible distance, you guys will be able to transition. If the hunter is far away, you guys still will be able to see them and transition. If they do teleport, you guys will be able to vault this window in time, stuff like that. Now, something to keep in mind is that if the cipher right here and there's a cipher right there, you guys should do this cipher right here first. So this cipher right here is better than the cipher that we were just at, because for the pure reason that there are windows here for your escape. This pallet is actually a really good pallet. If they do teleport, you guys will be able to make it to this pallet. And, you know, if they walk up to you with a visible distance and stuff like that, you guys can make a loop game, mind game with them for a pretty good large amount of time if you guys do it correctly. This is considered a safe cipher right here. Now, the next cipher we're going to go to is the one at statue. Now, this cipher right here is considered a safe cipher. Now, for the main reasons that if they do teleport, you guys will be able to make it to this pallet or this pallet, depending on your choice of kiting. Some people kite really oddly, but that depends on the player. But you guys see them from a visible distance from that direction, you guys will be able to transition and, you know, kite for a longer amount of time because you guys are already transitioning, wasting their time to catch up to you. And if they come from this distance, you guys could try to transition all the way over to this wall area, which is actually a really good kiting area. So this statue area gives you a lot of vision and it gives you a lot of prep time because there are pallets in your disposal when you guys do need it. This actual kiting area is actually pretty good. If you guys loop the hunter correctly between these 2 pallets, you guys could go for a large amount of time if you guys do it correctly, like I said. So yeah, those ciphers are really good. Outside of the dead zone area, there are many good ciphers in this map. This cipher right here is considered a safe and a wary cipher. Now, it's only wary because when a hunter does pull up from a visible distance, that direction or this direction right here, you guys are technically trapped between these 2 pallets. They know that you guys are here 100% of the time if they are a good hunter. So they're trying to play some mind games with you and stuff like that. So you guys got to be careful on that aspect. If they do teleport, they know that you guys are going to try to make it to these pallets. So definitely do be careful when that does happen. It is safe because you guys will make it to these pallets when the hunter does pull up. Now, the next area we're going to talk about is right here. This cipher right here is considered a dangerous cipher as well. You guys want to see what I'm talking about? like this whole entire area, 4 ciphers are considered dangerous. It's dangerous for the obvious reasons that there's nothing, not even a single window, literally nothing here to protect you. So if they do teleport on you, your best choice scenario is go to this pallet right here. Now, if you guys do make it to this pallet right here, it does not really matter because you guys are kind of stuck and trapped. You guys have this other pallet, which is not the best pallet in the world, but they're just gonna mind game you, and if they do mind game you correctly, they're gonna give that free hit on you. So that's not the great scenario of the day. If you guys see them from a visible distance, transitioning over here is not even an option because, well, realistically, you guys won't make it unless you guys see them like a mile away ahead of time. But if you guys see them way too late, your only option, like I said, regardless of teleport or visible distance, most of the time it's that pallet right there. But I mean, you guys could go to this pallet right here, but like I said, you guys would have to spot them early on. Now, there are only 2 ciphers in the game left, which is... I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but the cipher that we were just at, that's considered a dangerous cipher. Do not start on that cipher. Start on the one that's on the wall area right over there, the safe and the wary one, rather than that one. So this cipher right here is considered a safe cipher. Yes, the hunter will know that you guys are absolutely here, and that's fine. They can't really do anything. I mean, if they do teleport, you guys are able to vault these windows depending on your kiting, but I recommend that you guys vault this window instead because it leads to a better kiting area. Vaulting right here leads you sometimes into a death trap, so I highly recommend this window over that window. But like I said, if they know that you're here, it's absolutely fine. They can't do much. I mean, if they pull up from this direction, you guys can't just vault this window. If they pull up from this direction, you guys could just vault that window. And you know, if they're planning to pull up, you guys can just absolutely kite them at Sacred Heart Hospital right up here, go up here, loop them this whole area for days and stuff like that. Now, there are some times where that the cipher does show up here instead. And when the case the cipher does, you know, show up here instead of there, which should be right here, this is still considered a safe cipher. This cipher actually here is considered the safest cipher in the map because, well, hunters cannot pull up whenever they want here. Like, Wu Chang can't just pull up, okay? Like, nobody can pull up randomly. They either have to teleport or walk here, which is actually an incredible feat because you guys are prepared regardless. If they walk up here, you guys do have this pallet. You guys can play mind games, drop down here. You guys don't even need to drop this pallet, actually. And if they do teleport, you guys still will be able to make it to this pallet in time. So you guys have a pallet to your disposal. This is actually a really good pallet, so keep that in mind. The safest cipher in the map is this cipher right here. The bottom one is also considered a safe cipher, but just not as safe as this one. But anyways, that is all the ciphers in Sacred Heart Hospital. Also, guys, if the basement is at Sacred Heart Hospital, do not kite here. Please do not kite here for too long. If you guys do get knocked here, just not gonna be the best time of your life. It's just gonna be terrible. You guys are gonna be chained in basement, and your team is gonna have a rough time saving you from basement, especially a good hunter. But yeah, that is all the ciphers in Sacred Heart Hospital. The next map that we are going to talk about is Leo's Memory. I'm not the biggest fan of this map, but that's just me. I think it's okay though. The first cipher we're going to talk about is the Shaq Cipher. Now, the Shaq Cipher is considered a safe cipher. Now, you're probably catching on that we talked about many maps already, and now that you guys should know that Shaq Cipher are really safe to do. So if the hunter, irregardless, does pull up with teleport or come with a visible distance and a heartbeat and everything, you guys will be able to make it to this window or make it to this pallet to start your kite or transition or whatever it is. It's considered a safe area to start with. Now, like all Shaq Cipher, there's only one downside, okay? This is actually a really good place to loop. You guys can loop and play mind games with the hunter for a large amount of time if done correctly, and it can be very effective. The only downside about Shaq Cipher is basement. So if the basement is in turn here, try to kite away from it or do not kite here for way too long. I don't care how good you guys are, mistakes does happen, and in turn, if you guys get knocked here and get cheered in basement, it's just not a good look for your team. So just keep this in mind. Shaq is a very strong kiting area, and the ciphers at Shaq are very safe to do, but you guys gotta keep in mind of basement. Other than that, this is considered a safe cipher. Now the next cipher we're going to talk about is this cipher right here. This cipher right here, absolutely not right here right now. Try to call back again tomorrow. But yeah, this cipher right here is considered a safe cipher. It's actually one of my favorite ciphers in Leo's memory because there are big walls here where you guys can play mind games with the hunter and loop them for days, because it's kind of hard for a hunter to see and predict if you guys are behind the pallet or not, and they are absolutely scared to go through these pallets because they do not want to get stunned. If they do get stunned, you guys are able to transition away, and that's not a good thing for them. My recommendation is that use these 2 pallets sparingly, okay? Because they are very strong and effective. If you guys spam them if you guys spam them right away when you guys have the chance, you guys are going to lose your advantage over the hunter, and that's just not a good thing. So use them sparingly and use them when you guys actually have to, because once you guys use these 2 pallets, you guys lose all advantages over the hunter, and you guys have no more resources to use, and you guys have to transition away, and you guys transition way too late, you guys might give them that free hit, and that's just not a good thing. But other than that, this is a good cipher because you guys are able to play mind games, and you guys are able to transition away to different areas to kite when it does come down to it. So keep that in mind. Safe cipher and my favorite cipher in this map. Now the next cipher we're going to talk about is this cipher right here. Now this cipher right here is considered a wary cipher and a safe cipher at the same time. Being so is because it's safe because if the hunter does pull up, you have this pallet right here. When you guys do drop this pallet from side to side, the distance is large, so you guys will be protected. It's wary because if the hunter does pull up and they are trying to pressure you and push you in this direction to this area, they have the advantage over you. You guys do not want to get pushed into this area because this pallet right here is just not the best. Your best bet is this pallet right here, which is already broken. But yeah, this pallet right here is really good, but it's just 1 pallet. And that means you guys won't kite that long, and you're forced to transition right away if you guys use this pallet. It's just a safe and a wary cipher, so just be careful when you guys do this cipher. Best case scenario is that you guys transition into the middle where there's a bunch of pallets and you guys have a lot of options, or transition into that corner where you guys can play mind games with the hunter. Absolutely, do not try to transition over there. You guys just won't make it. Don't transition over there. You guys will be cornered. Just not a good look. This brings me to my next point. This cipher right here. This is considered a wary cipher in general because it's not the best place to start kiting if the hunter does pull up. It's absolutely fine to do, but you gotta be careful. You guys actually gotta spot the hunter early on. If you guys spot them too late and the hunter does pull up here, your kite is gonna be very difficult here, okay? It's not just the kite alone. Transitioning out of here without taking a hit is actually really difficult. So it's like wary and almost pushed to the dangerous side. So you gotta be very careful when you guys do this cipher and keep an open eye for the hunter. Like you gotta spot them early on. You guys spot them too late. Like I said, transitioning out without taking a hit is hard. The next cipher we're gonna talk about, is this cipher right here. Now this cipher right here, in my book, it's considered a dangerous cipher. You guys can argue it's wary too, but hear me out. So it's a dangerous cipher is because you guys are in a corner. Yes, there is a window right here. If they do teleport or pull up, you guys have this window to vote. But let's say you guys do vaulted. Let's say the hunter does pull up. What are you guys gonna do now? There's nothing here to your resource. You're corner carried. And do not get me started on this pallet right here. Absolutely awful. Why was this even a thing? But yeah. So you guys are corner carry and you guys don't have many options. You guys can't even loop the hunter that well. This pallet right here, not the best. Your best chance and your best choice is these 2 pallets right here. These 2 pallets right here are actually pretty good, but the problem here is it's these 2 pallets. They're good pallets, but the problem is from transitioning from this cipher to those 2 pallets is the problem, because they will come from this direction, right? So you guys are forced to vault this window and stuff. It's very difficult, just like the other cipher. Without taking a hit, it's hard to transition. So you guys got to be careful doing this cipher. In my book, it's considered dangerous. I do recommend that you guys do find a better cipher. Like, yes, it does waste a bit of time, but definitely do transition if you guys can. You guys can argue it's wary, but do that on your own risk. I just do not like that cipher. It's kind of hard to transition without taking a hit. But yeah, the next cipher is this cipher in this giant building. Now this cipher right here, it's considered safe, I would say. Now it's also considered wary because you only have this pallet to your disposal. If the hunter does pull up, many plus survivor does go to this pallet or go up here depending on the distance. If the distance is actually large, survivors usually go up here, but you guys can also make it to this pallet. Now if they do teleport, there is a chance that you guys will not make it to this pallet without taking a hit on time. But if they do teleport, your only option is to go to this pallet, okay? Like, do not try to go up here. You guys will give them that free hit. Do not try to run to this window. You guys will not make it in time. Do not try to exit through this entrance. You guys will not make it without giving them that free hit. Now, it becomes a dangerous cipher right away if this pallet is broken, okay? If this pallet is no longer here and you guys are doing the cipher, just know that this cipher becomes dangerous. If they pull up or teleport on you, you guys are going to give them that free hit, and it's just not a good look. But you guys got to make sure this pallet is right here. So it is considered safe and wary, so in the beginning of the match is absolutely fine to do. You just got to keep an open eye on all single direction to see if the hunter is coming. Then you guys can start your kite. Absolutely fine to do, I'm just saying. Hey, that pallet's gone, so yeah, best of luck. So this cipher right here is considered a safe and a wary cipher. Now it's a safe cipher because you guys have these pallets to your disposal. It's a wary cipher is that if the hunter does pull up, these are not the best pallets in the world, okay? Like, they're pretty good pallets, but just not the best in the world. Wary because, you know, it's absolutely fine to do. You guys will have that visual cue on if the hunter does pull up because they will come from that direction mostly. So you guys can start your kite early on and transition away if you guys have to. But just be careful doing the cipher. Now the next cipher we're going to talk about is this cipher right here. This cipher right here. Oh, Dancer, what is up, my girl? This cipher right here is considered a safe cipher. So if the hunter does pull up with a teleport or visual cue, you guys will be safe actually, because you guys will make it to this pallet in time and you guys have this pallet and this window to your disposal. But what makes this such a great cipher is that you guys are ready for the kite when it does come. So if the hunter does come, you guys are at a great kiting area already, which is this area, okay? These two pallets and this window can be very effective for kiting if you guys play your mind games correctly. You guys can loop the hunter for a large amount of time, but that's only if you guys do it correctly. My recommendation is don't spam these two pallets right away. If you guys spam them right away, the hunter will break it and you guys will lose your advantages and you guys are forced to transition. These two pallets and this window can be very good, so just keep that in mind when you guys do kite. Now the next cipher we're going to go to is this cipher over here. Now this cipher over here is considered a safe cipher for the exact same reason as the other cipher, is because you're already at a good kiting area and you guys can transition when it does happen. So if the hunter does teleport or pull up, you guys have this pallet to your disposal, or you guys can choose this pallet to your disposal. But like I said, something to keep in mind about great kiting area is that these two pallets are really effective depending on how you use them. If you guys spam them early on, you guys will lose your advantage right away and it could cut your kite really short. So keep that in mind. So you guys are at a very good kiting area for this cipher and that cipher over there. It just depends on how you guys use your resource. Now the next cipher we're going to talk about is this cipher right here. Now this cipher I don't really prefer, is because it's not the best cipher. It's a wary cipher, I would say. It's not dangerous by any means, but it's considered wary. The only thing about this cipher is that when you guys do this cipher, you guys will have to look around like really hard. You guys will have to spot the hunter like early on. If you guys spot them too late, you guys may potentially give them that free hit. Now let me explain. So let's say the hunter does pull up and you guys spot them way too late, and most survivors go behind this pallet and drop it. Now the problem with this is that you guys look closely, it's like the 3 pallets at Sacred Heart Hospital. They could just simply go around. So you guys spot them too late and you guys drop this pallet, you're forced to go this way and try to transition this way. But the problem is that the distance from here to that area is very large, meaning that you guys will give them that free hit, and that's not good for your kite, which means most likely that your kite is going to end pretty short. So you guys have to be keeping an open eye when you guys do this cipher. Like, look everywhere, okay? You guys need to spot the hunter early on if you guys choose to do this cipher. If you guys spot them too late, prepare to give them that free hit. Unless you guys have an ability or something to make it over there in time. But most of the time, if you guys do start a kite, you guys want to make your way over there or make it to Shaq, okay? Don't try to transition in the open randomly, like some players. But yeah, a cipher that I did miss is this cipher right here. this cipher right here is considered a wary cipher also. You guys do have these 2 pallets at your disposal when you guys need, not like the one over there, which is absolutely not helpful. But the problem here is that if the hunter does pull up, these 2 pallets are not going to save your life. Like, yes, you guys can loop the hunter like this for a bit, but that's only for a bit. Like, how long can you realistically last for the hunter? So you guys, just like the other one, you guys need to spot the hunter early on, okay? So when you spot the hunter early on doing the cipher, you guys can transition over there or transition over there. 2 great kiting areas for you guys to start kiting. But you guys spot them too late, you guys will probably have to loop them until you guys can no longer loop them, meaning that they probably broke these 2 pallets already, and you're forced to transition, and maybe you gave them that free hit. And that's just not a good look. So why risk a free hit for the hunter when you guys can transition early on from to there or to there? So just keep that in mind if you guys are doing these 2 wary cipher. Those 2 wary cipher, the important thing about doing them is that spotting the hunter early on. Spotting too late could cost you that free hit. And the last cipher we're going to talk about is this middle cipher right here. It is a dangerous cipher. It's really obvious why it's dangerous. Yes, you guys have pallets at your disposal, and you guys can make it to Shaq sometimes, depending on where they're approaching from. But the problem with a middle cipher, for many survivors, and what they don't understand, is that you're giving yourself away early on, okay? When you guys are giving yourself early on, that means that the hunter has more time to kill you, so you guys are knocked on the ground faster. If you guys are hiding and doing a cipher in a corner, they're wasting more time trying to find you, meaning that means more time for your team to decode. But if you guys are spotted right away, that saves them the trouble of finding you in the first place, and they're not wasting any time to destroy you. So definitely do not do this cipher if you guys are not a rescuer. If you guys are a rescuer, you guys can do this cipher, but just be very careful. But other than that, definitely rotate to a better cipher if you guys can. I never recommend doing this cipher if you guys are not a rescuer. Anyways, that is all the ciphers in Leo's memory. Hey guys, I hope that was helpful to you guys. Now, if you guys want part 3 with Moonlit and Lakeside analysis for those ciphers, definitely remember to leave that like, do subscribe if you guys haven't already, and definitely do share with your friends that are new to the game. But anyways guys, I will see you guys all next time.